campaign to deny not only recent events, but also all of Jewish history. They hope to erase the 3,000-year-old Jewish connection to the land of Israel, the Holy Temple, Jewish kings and princes, Hebrew prophets and poets, Judean artisans and farmers, and all the great rabbis and their disciples of Jerusalem, all of whose souls are bound up in our ancient homeland. Across from here, they are spreading misinformation about Israel, Stand With Us, and everyone in this room. Elie Wiesel once told me, if millions preach falsehood, there must be at least one voice, however lonely and weak, to call it falsehood. Together, with all of the people who are watching us at this moment, we are that voice. Cannot allow truth to be distorted. As a daughter of Holocaust survivors, Elie Wiesel's words ring particularly true for me. This is not the first time we've borne witness to those who want to destroy and deny Jewish history. Today, when we remember the dead, let's remember them for the sake of the living and for the future. We have learned that the desecration of Jewish sites, the denial of Jewish heritage, the murder of Jews with impunity opens a door to a world where no one is safe. Our memory protects the future. I thank you for being here today to help us and stand with us remember. To remember and honor the stories of two beautiful young men and to hold dear memory itself, as memory is our ultimate vindication. Let's remember so that the executioner doesn't get the last word. The last word belongs to the victims.
This is the inscription that is on the gravestones. These beloved and dearest in life are also together in death. Their spark of life was extinguished by a cruel hand in Jerusalem on the 3rd day of Adar, 5729. May their souls be bound together in the eternal chain of life.
This is a letter written by one of the families, for the victim's family. On behalf of all the members of the Jaffe family, I want to express our deepest gratitude to Stand With Us, your board directors and members, and especially tireless Midwest director Peggy Shapiro. For organizing today's memorial service, we are so profoundly thankful for the members of the clergy from all denominations and the many other friends who have made the time to attend to this event. How fitting is it that while another deeply misguided so-called Jewish organization at this annual conference here in Chicago has chosen to honor and glorify convicted terrorists, you have chosen instead to hold a memorial service for her victims. My late brother Edward Jaffe and his friend Leon Canner, Zichronam Livracha, even though decades have passed since Rosmea Odeh's bombs placed in the Super Soul Market in Jerusalem in January 1969 cut short their beautiful lives. Their memory burns bright in the hearts and minds of their families and friends. And through your chesed, kindness, and that of other wonderful friends in the hearts and minds of countless others. Rosmea Odeh has now signed a plea bargain, an agreement in which she pleads guilty to the immigration fraud charges that have been brought against her. And hopefully, very soon, she will have her U.S. citizenship revoked, and she will be deported to Jordan. She will soon be forgotten by her supporters, who have so misguidedly championed her. But the memory of Edward and Leon will live forever. V'yurhod b'chrod cha'chaim et nishmatam. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life. Amen.
The following words were written and read by Irit, Leon's sister, in a memorial ceremony held at the Agriculture facility in Israel a few years ago. We would like to share them with you again at this most important event. We would also like to thank the people responsible, stand with us, for organizing this ceremony, and each and every one of you present here today. It is most meaningful to us. A letter from Leon Aryeh Kanner's family. 1948. About a month after Israel's declaration of independence, in Uruguay, a remote country, in a village surrounded by vineyards, to a loving family with 3 daughters, our little brother was born, Leib Aryeh Kanner, 1969. Aryeh is a new immigrant in Israel who is studying in the agriculture facility and was planning a trip to the mountains, together with Eddie, a friend from class. They were buying groceries for the trip, and then, in one moment, the same destiny for both of them. The worst had happened. The blast. Years go by, and on each Memorial Day, when the country remembers its toll, mothers say, for me, every day is Memorial Day. When the physical time distances itself, the emotional time becomes more intense. The distance has no time. It has a star. And the star shines and carries life within of a curious and thoughtful child. The star lightens his face, and you can hear him sing and play his guitar, which are still here. And you can see his eyes adjusting the camera lens, turning on the movie camera, and receiving an award for first-time filmmakers. And the star shines and shows his sensitive and good heart, embracing his parents with flowers in his hands. What does this star say? That he was too young, not even 20, that he wanted life, that we shouldn't have to live with the fact that hatred between 2 peoples determines fate. And the star prays that the strongest of memories will remain in our hearts, more love and more hopes. When the physical time distances itself, the emotional time becomes more intense. In the distance, there is no line. There's only that star.
The slogan, remember, has halachic significance in Judaism. In fact, Rabbi Shneir Zalman of Liadi, who was born in 1745, said that there are 6 events that were so important in Jewish history in the Torah they have to be remembered every day in the davening. And I think all 6 give us insight into why we're here today and what our orders are. The first of the 6 remembrances is remember Amalek. Now remember Amalek teaches us that there was real evil in the world, that evil cannot be ignored and must be fought. And there's real evil going on in this building right now in propagating the ideas that hate Jews, and that has to be remembered. The second Zachor that we have to say every day is remember the Exodus. Remember the Exodus is the idea that there was a redemption in Jewish history at one time. We await the redemption in the future, but that redemption will not come until all evil is exterminated. The third remember is Sinai, that there is a Torah that has real truth and not lies. The fourth is the rebellion of the Jews in the desert. And right in this building, right now, we have Jews rebelling against the will of God and against what is true and good. The fifth was remembering Miriam's speech, the evil speech she spoke against her brother. And today we have one brother speaking evil and lies about what is true and good. And finally, to remember the Sabbath, which is a taste of heaven, which we don't get until the Messiah comes. You know, the last holiday in Jewish calendar was Purim. Now, Purim, of course, was a near extermination of the Jewish people, saved only by a miracle. And Esther hesitated to do her duty. But Mordechai said to her, maybe you were created just for this moment. Step forward and do what you must do to save the Jewish people. Now, this Shabbat is Shabbat HaGadol, the great Sabbath before Passover. In the Haftorah we read this Shabbat is from the prophet Malachi. Now, Malachi is a pseudonym. We don't know who that was. It means my angel, my messenger. Malachi prophesied in the same time as the Purim story. And what he says, the reason why we read this Haftorah this week, he ends by saying, someday I'm going to send Elijah the prophet to announce the Gadol the great and awesome day of the Lord. But Malachi knew that day has not come. The day is not yet here, and we must act as if it is not here and do what we must to preserve the memory so that we act the right way. Now, as we move forward to the holiday of Passover, we remember too that Moshe did not want the job, just like Esther. He had to be persuaded and cajoled by God. And so too, a lot of us don't want this job, but it's a job we must take, a job for which we are entrusted to do what is right, to defend the truth, to battle for the Jewish people and for what is right and good in the world. Jewish Voices for Peace, that is the biggest joke in the world. You want peace? Stop lying. UNESCO wants to say Jerusalem has no link to the Jewish people. As Peggy said at the beginning, 4,000 years of Jewish history. King David established Jerusalem as the capital of the Jewish people in 995 BCE. We have UNESCO saying that. We have Arafat saying to Bill Clinton, and I think the Christian clergy here is outraged as we are when Arafat said to Bill Clinton, the Jews were never in Jerusalem, and Clinton said to him, you know, you're insulting all of Christianity. What do you think Jesus was doing at that moment in Jerusalem? And so, if you want to have peace, then stop killing Jews. You want to have peace, then stop teaching your kindergartners to commit terrorism. Then there'll be peace. But until all that happens, and the Messiah is not yet here, we all have a job to do. And like Esther, we might be reluctant. Like Moshe Rabbeinu, we might be reluctant. But Zachor is not an empty slogan. It's something that we have to remember every day. To remember that there is evil like Amalek in the world. To remember the grandeur of the giving of the Torah at Sinai. To remember the possibility of the taste of heaven, which is Shabbat. To remember that Miriam spoke evil about her brother. To remember the redemption and revelation that occurred when we left Egypt. And when we sit around the Seder table and we recall this story, let it be infused with the memory of these two boys who died al Kedushat Hashem, for the martyrdom of the Jewish people. And let their memories not go empty, but be a cause for all of us to step forward. As Mordechai said to Esther, maybe you were created for just this moment.
A poem for the victims called We Remember Them. At the rising sun and at its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of the summer, we remember them. At the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of the autumn, we remember them. At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us. We remember them. Israel's revenge against decades of terror attacks is that we are still here.
As a leader in the Pentecostal movement, I'm here today to tell Israel that we have your back. There's millions of Pentecostals worldwide, and we're saying in unison, never again. Today I would like to read to you from Psalm 116. I love the Lord who listens to my voice in supplication, who turned an ear to me on the day I called. I was caught by the cords of death. The snares of Sheol had seized me. I felt the agony and the dread. And I called on the name of the Lord. O Lord, save my life. Gracious is the Lord and righteous. Yes, our God is merciful. The Lord protects the simple. I was helpless, but he saved me. Return, my soul, to your rest. The Lord has been very good to you, for my soul has been freed from death, my eyes from tears, my feet from stumbling. I shall walk before the Lord in the land of the living.
Amen.
And now we'll call Dr. Resnick up to light the memorial candles. Thank you, Pastor Schultz. Rabbi Kaplan.
Author of life, man has turned violent, cutting down innocence, crushing lives, upending dreams, attacking hope with hatred. Source and creator, grant a perfect rest under your tabernacle of peace and eternal life to the victims of murder, Edward Jaffe and Leon Cantor, whose lives were cut off in a 1969 Jerusalem supermarket bombing in an act of witless aggression and calculated terror. The blood of Leon Cantor and Edward Jaffe cries out to us from the ground. Had they lived, they would have been 70 years old. They never married, never had children, never danced at a bar or bat mitzvah of a grandchild. Jewish lives also matter. They were friends and now lie buried next to one another at Har HaMenuchot. The stone marker joining their graves reads, "These beloved and dearest in life are also together in death." Their light and spark of life was extinguished by a cruel hand in Jerusalem on the third day of Adar 5729. May their souls be bound together in the eternal chain of life. We pray the El Malei Rachamim prayer, the traditional Jewish prayer for the souls of the departed. El Malei Rachamim, Sholchein Bamromim, Hamsei Menucha Nechona, Tachet Kanfei HaShechina, B'ma'alot Kedoshim Uteharim, Kezohar Harakia Mazhirim, Lenishmot Ephraim David ben Chaim uMoshe, V'Leon Arya ben Mordechai, Shehalchu Began Eden. Tehei Menuchatam, Ana Bal Harachamim, Hastireim B'Seter Kenafecha Lolamim, Utzror B'Tzror Chaim et Nishmotehem. Adonai hu nachalatam, Vayanuach Bashalom al Mishkavotehem, and Omar Amen. And Hannah Senish once wrote, "There are stars whose radiance is visible on earth, though they have long been extinct. There are people whose brilliance continues to light the world, even though they are no longer among the living. These lights are particularly bright when the night is dark. They light the way for humankind." Hannah Senish.
Announce your name.
My name is Levi Velasco. I'm an evangelical. I am solidly behind the Jewish people in Israel. And now I am going to read the prayer for the soul of the departed. O God, full of compassion, who dwells on high, grant true rest upon the wings of the Shekinah, divine presence, in the exalted spheres of the holy and pure, who shine as the resplendence of the firmament, to the souls of Edward and Leon, who have gone to their supernal world. For charity has been donated in remembrance of their souls. May their place of rest be in Gan Eden. Therefore, May the all-merciful one shelter them with the cover of his wings forever, and bind their souls in the bond of life. The Lord is their heritage. May they rest in their resting place in peace. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
As we approach the end of this memorial service, I'd like to thank everyone attending today. I especially would like to thank the families of Edward and Leon, who in the past 2 years had to relive those dreadful moments when they lost their loved ones. We came here to declare that their memory will never be lost. Even when vicious adversaries tried to shape history. Edward and Leon were murdered in cold blood because they were Jewish. These young men never hurt anyone. They never took anything from their killer or her family, yet she targeted them as victims. We were told we could not hold this memorial here, while others could parade their murderer, turning her into a martyr. We were told that she might be allowed to walk free, while her victims lay in the ground for all eternity. Stand With Us refused to listen. As we learn that the killer will soon be deported from our country, we feel justice has been served, even if just partially. She tried to deceive everyone, hoping her lies will save her. She tried to erase the memory of her victims, while hoping she will become a victim herself. She failed. Edward and Leon are a symbol to thousands of victims of terror whose families await justice. Today, we can say to the Jaffe family and to the Kenner family, Stand With Us is here with you, and we will not rest until justice is finally served for all victims. I want to thank everyone for joining hands with us today to stand strong together to defend memory and justice. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. May their memory forever be a blessing. Thank you for joining us tonight.